playlist in comments section below.
And it came to pass that as the day of Adapa's journey drew near, Enki called him forth and spoke unto him, saying, Hear me well, my son, for you go now to stand before the king of Nibiru. You shall gaze upon the land of the mighty ones, a place where no earthling has walked before. But heed my words, and remember them well, for great shall be the test before you. Enki instructed Adapa in the protocols of the gods, teaching him the manner in which he should speak, the ways in which he should bow, and the customs of the great court of Anu. But in his heart Enki held a secret, for though Adapa was of his seed and his likeness, he was still of the earth, and among the mighty ones no earthling could be counted as equal. And so Enki spoke falsehood, saying to Adapa, When you stand before Anu, and they offer you the bread of life and the elixir of immortality, do not partake of it, for in consuming it you shall surely perish. Refuse it, and return to the earth, for your place is among your own kind, and not in the eternal halls of the gods. And Adapa, trusting in the wisdom of his father, vowed to obey his words, believing that the sustenance of the Anunnaki would bring him to ruin. For Enki and all the Anunnaki, even those who had grown fond of the earthlings, could not bear the thought that one of man's kind should walk among them as an equal. Proud were the gods, and they deemed the children of the earth to be forever lesser, crude, and unworthy of their eternal life and wisdom. And it came to pass that the day of Adapa's ascent arrived, and the chariot of fire was made ready upon the launch platform. Dumuzi and Ningish-Zida, the sons of Enki, prepared themselves for the journey, donning the tight-fitting garments of the Igigi, the mighty ones who journey between the worlds. Upon their heads they placed helmets of power, their visors gleaming as the sun, that they might breathe in the void and withstand the weight of the heavens. Adapa, the son of earth, was made ready, for his body was cleansed, and his wild locks were shorn from his head. No longer did he wear the rough garments of the earthlings, but they clothed him in a suit like unto the gods, and upon his head they placed a mighty helmet, that he might walk among the stars. And though Adapa's heart was heavy with fear, Dumuzi and Ningish-Zida comforted him, saying, Fear not, Adapa, for we are with thee. This journey is great, but you shall not be alone. They spoke soothingly to him, saying, The chariot shall rise as the mighty eagle, and though the heavens roar, you shall not be harmed. As the command was given, the fiery engines roared, and the chariot trembled, lifting from the land of Eden, rising upward toward the boundless void. And it came to pass that the chariot of fire descended upon Nibiru, and from its gleaming vessel stepped forth Dumuzi, Ningish-Zida, and Adapa, the earthborn. And lo, a great multitude gathered, for never before had an earthling set foot upon the land of the mighty ones. The people of Nibiru marveled at the sight, whispering among themselves, saying, Behold, this is the creation of Enki. This is the earthborn one who walks among the gods. And there was great rejoicing, for Dumuzi, the grandson of Anu, had returned, and he was greeted with honor and festivity. So it was that the three travelers were brought to the palace of Anu, the great king of Nibiru, the ruler of the celestial abode. There they were washed and cleansed, and their bodies anointed with the fragrant oils of the gods, for such was the custom of those who entered the house of the king. When Anu beheld his grandson Dumuzi, his heart was filled with joy and pride, for he had long awaited the day of his return. When his eyes fell upon Adapa, he was filled with amazement, for never before had he seen an earthborn one who spoke with wisdom and understanding. Anu prepared a great feast in their honor, setting before them the bread of life and the elixir of immortality, that they might partake and be renewed. But Adapa would not eat nor drink, and Anu was perplexed, saying, Why does the earthborn one refuse the food and drink of the gods? Adapa answered, saying, My lord and king, my master Enki, hath commanded me not to partake, but he hath not told me why. And at these words Anu was troubled, for he could not comprehend why Enki, the wise, would deny his creation the gift of eternal life. He turned to Dumuzi and Ningish-Zida, saying, What mystery is this? Why has Enki forbidden him? But they could not answer, for the mind of Enki was hidden from them. Then Ningish-Zida spoke, saying, My lord Anu, my father Enki gave me a tablet before our departure, instructing me to deliver it unto you. Anu took the tablet swiftly, and with great haste. He withdrew to his private chambers so that he might decipher the secret message of Enki. Anu took the sealed tablet of Enki, and with his own hands he broke the seal and placed it into the device of wisdom, a vessel that revealed hidden words, much like the scribes of men read their records from scrolls and tablets. As the words of Enki appeared before him, the great king of Nibiru was astonished, for the message he read was unlike any he had foreseen. O mighty Anu, ruler of Nibiru, thus read the words of Enki. I, your son Enki, reveal now the secret that has long been veiled. Know this, my father, that Adapa is of my own seed, begotten of an earthling woman, and likewise Titi, his sister, is born of the same manner. With wisdom and understanding I have fashioned them, bestowing upon them speech and knowledge, that they may serve in Eden and tend to the fields and the flocks. Yet I have withheld from them the tree of life, for though they bear our likeness, they are not of our days nor of our years, and their fate is set upon the earth to live and to die as mortals. Adapa's kind shall till the soil and shepherd the beasts, and they shall not walk among the eternal, for such was decreed by my own hand. As Anu read these words, his heart was troubled, and his mind wavered, for he knew not whether to be filled with wrath or to be overcome with mirth. He cried out, saying, Enki, my son, what mischief is this that thou hast wrought? In the lands of Nibiru we have taken concubines, yet never have the sons of Anu sown their seed among the creatures of another world. And he was sorely perplexed, for nowhere among the laws of the mighty ones had it been written whether such interplanetary cohabitation was permitted or forbidden. In his uncertainty, Anu called forth his vizier Ilabrat, a counselor of great wisdom, that he might give counsel in this matter. Ilabrat stood before the king and bowed, saying, My lord Anu, among our kind it has long been permitted that concubines be taken, that the seed of the mighty may increase. Yet never before has this thing been done between worlds, and in this matter no law has been spoken, neither by decree nor by custom. Anu, the great king of Nibiru, turned to Ningish-Zida, the son of Enki, and inquired of him, saying, Tell me, do you know the words your father has written? Ningish-Zida bowed before Anu, and he answered truthfully, saying, My lord, I know not the message that my father has inscribed upon the tablet, for I was not told of its contents. But within his heart, Ningish-Zida was not astonished, for he had long studied the essence of Adapa, and through the workings of wisdom he had discerned the truth of his origin. For he had examined the essence of life, the sacred strands entwined like the twin serpents, and he saw that Adapa bore the mark of the mighty ones. Anu beheld him, knowing that Ningish-Zida was a keeper of great knowledge, and he nodded, for he perceived that this truth had not been hidden from him. Then Anu, the sovereign of the stars, decreed a great command, saying, Adapa shall not dwell among the eternal, nor shall he partake of the sustenance of the gods. Let him return to the earth from whence he came, for there is his place, and there shall he abide. And you, Ningish-Zida, shall journey with him, and with your father Enki, you shall be the teachers of civilized mankind. Let the earthlings till the soil and reap its harvest. Let them tend to the flocks and watch over the beasts of the field. Let them learn the ways of measure, of writing, and of wisdom, yet let them remain bound to the earth, for they are not of the eternal realm. Thus it was decreed that Adapa and his progeny would serve as the keepers of the land, the tenders of the flocks, the builders of cities, and the scribes of knowledge. So it was that Ningish-Zida, the wise son of Enki, prepared to depart, bearing Adapa back to the world of men, that he might fulfill his destiny upon the land of his birth. Anu, the great king of Nibiru, rendered his judgment, and he spoke before the assembly of the mighty ones, saying, "No law has been broken, for no law was decreed concerning such matters. Never before have the sons of Nibiru sown their seed among the children of another world, yet neither was it forbidden, for such a thing had not been foreseen." And the words of Anu stilled the murmurs of the Anunnaki, for though they marveled at the work of Enki, they could not refute the king's decree. But Enlil, the Lord of Command, was wroth, and his heart burned with fury, for he deemed Enki's deeds to be reckless and without wisdom. And he stood before the assembly, saying, "Though my brother has not transgressed any law, he has cast the fate of the Anunnaki and the earthlings upon an unknown path. By his choosing, destiny has been usurped by fate, and the order of the heavens has been altered." And Enlil's anger was great, for he saw in the works of Enki a challenge to the decrees of time and the will of the Creator of all. So he turned in haste, leaving the court of Anu, his face darkened with wrath, for he would not accept what had been done. And though Enki had not transgressed, the actions of the mighty ones had now set into motion a course that could not be undone. Anu, seeing the storm in the heart of Enlil, pondered upon the matter, saying within himself, "In the days to come, such matters must be bound by law, lest the ways of the Anunnaki bring chaos upon the worlds." And so it was whispered among the wise ones of Nibiru that a decree must be established, a law to govern the ways of the mighty when dwelling upon foreign lands. Marduk, the firstborn of Enki, was summoned to Eridu by his mother Damkina, the noble daughter of Alalu. She called unto him, saying, "Come, my son, for there is much to be spoken, and a great work has been done upon the earth." Damkina's heart was heavy with the past, for her father, Alalu, once king of Nibiru, was vanquished and perished upon the red planet Lahmu, Mars, never to return. When Marduk arrived at the house of his father, Enki, he was met with wonders unseen, for there before him stood Adapa and Titi, the first of the civilized mankind. Marduk marveled at their wisdom, saying, "Never before have I seen earthlings with such knowledge and speech. They are not as the wild ones, but as those who reason and understand." He beheld their twin sons, Ka-in and Aba-el, and he was moved, for he saw strength and promise within them. Then Marduk turned to his father Enki and said, "Let it be that I shall be their teacher, that they may learn the ways of the mighty ones, and be raised in wisdom." But Enki and Ningish-Zida had spoken among themselves, saying, "Let not the full truth be known to Marduk and Damkina, lest their hearts be troubled." And they concealed from him the tale of Enki's union with the daughters of Man, Dawn, and Dusk, for such knowledge was deemed not fit for his ears. And it was then that Enlil, the Lord of Command, heard of Marduk's request, and he spoke with authority, saying, "Let not Marduk alone be the teacher, but let my son Ninurta also instruct them, that the wisdom of the earthlings may not be bound to one alone." And so it was decreed that Marduk would instruct one of the twins, and Ninurta would take the other, that balance might be maintained among the Anunnaki. But Adapa and Titi remained in Eridu, under the tutelage of Ningishzida, where they were taught the sacred numbers, the writing of symbols, and the wisdom of the stars. In this way, the knowledge of the Anunnaki was passed unto the children of men, that they might till the soil, tend the flocks, and keep record of the passing of days. Ninurta, the mighty son of Enlil, took Ka-in, the firstborn of Adapa, to the city of Bad Tibera, where the art of labor and the ways of the field were taught unto him. Ninurta spoke unto him, saying, Behold, the land shall yield its bounty unto those who toil upon it. By your hands the earth shall bring forth its fruits, and by your wisdom the harvest shall be gathered. He taught him the ways of agriculture, how to till the soil, dig the channels of water, sow the seeds, and reap the harvest in its season. And he fashioned a plough of wood, taken from the strong trees of the land, and placed it in Cain's hands, saying, With this you shall command the land, and it shall bring forth grain to sustain your people. And for this labor Cain was named by Ninurta, meaning, he who grows food in the field, for he was the first among men to tame the earth with the wisdom of the Anunnaki. Marduk, the firstborn of Enki, took the younger twin, Abael, and led him to the meadows of the Eden. There Marduk spoke unto him, saying, Not only from the earth shall food be gathered, but from the flocks that roam upon it. By your hand the beasts shall be tended, and they shall provide sustenance unto the Anunnaki and the earthlings alike. And in the green pastures of the Eden, Marduk built barns for the sheep and the goats, for these creatures were brought from Nibiru by Dumuzi the shepherd upon his return. Thus Abael was given his name, meaning, he of the watered meadows, for he was the first among men to tend the flocks, to lead them to pasture, and to bring forth the wool and milk for the nourishment of the people. It was whispered that other four-legged beasts were also brought from Nibiru, yet only the sheep and the goats were recorded in the chronicles of that time. All these things were done in the land of the Cedar Mountains, the place of great trees and high hills, where the landing site of the chariots of fire stood as a gateway between the heavens and the earth.